Optimizing Query Plans Part 1. Introduction. The Optimizing Query Plans module provides you with the instructions and devices to develop your hands-on skills in the following topics. First, working with SQL Server Profiler. The second, working with Query Store. The third is working with extended events. Exam objectives. 3 exam objectives are covered in this lab. First, demonstrate how to capture the actual execution plans using extended events. Second, demonstrate how to capture and display the actual execution plan from the trace. And the third is demonstrate how to optimize the queries using Query Store. Next, exercise 1, working with SQL Server Profiler. The SQL Server database engine delivers a collection of data and events, which is known as trace. SQL Server Profiler is a graphical user interface that you can use to create and manage traces. You can save the data and events in a trace file that can be used for troubleshooting the database problems arising out of slow-running queries or inefficient stored procedures. In this exercise, you will learn to work with SQL Server Profiler. Task 1. Capture and display the actual execution plan. The Query Optimizer determines the most efficient way of executing the Transact SQL queries. The result given by the Query Optimizer is considered as the execution plan. Database administrators can use the execution plan to identify the performance of the queries and troubleshoot poorly performing queries. In this task, you will create the trace file using Server Profiler that includes selected events and event columns to be reviewed. The trace file will capture and display the actual execution plans of the Transact SQL queries. Step 1. Ensure you have powered on the required devices and connect to PLAB SQL 01. Step 2. From the PLAB SQL 01 desktop, click Start and click Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. The Connect to Server dialog box appears. From the Server Type drop-down list, click Database Engine. In the Server Name text box, type PLAB SQL 01 and click Connect. Step 3. The SQL Server Management Studio window opens. In the Object Explorer, click to expand the databases. Step 4. To select the database from the list of databases, click AdventureWorks DW 2016 CPP3. To create a new query from the Query ribbon, click New Query. The New Query pane opens. Step 6. To open SQL Server Profiler, click the Tools menu and click SQL Server Profiler. Step 7. SQL Server Profiler window opens. Connect to Server dialog box appears. Keep the default settings, click Connect. Step 8. Trace Properties dialog box appears. In the Trace name box, type Capture Plan. Click Save to file. Step 9. The Save As dialog box appears. In the left pane, navigate to Local Disk. Click Save. Step 10. In the Trace Properties dialog box, click the Event Selection tab. Trace Properties. Save to file. Local Disk. Save. In the Trace Properties menu. Yes. Trace Properties. And then click Event Selection. Click the Show All Events checkbox. Step 11. Click to expand the performance node under Events column. Step 12. Scroll down the dialog box until you locate Show Plan XML. Show Plan XML. Click Run to start the trace process. Step 13. SQL Server Profiler. Capture Plan PLAB SQL01 window opens. Notice that status bar of the window that indicates trace is running. Step 14. On the taskbar, click Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio icon. To create a new query from the query ribbon, click New Query. Type the following query in the New Query pane. This query creates a left outer join between DIM customer and fact survey response table based on the common field customer key. The respective columns selected are displayed as the output. To execute the query, click Execute or press F5. The query runs successfully and the result set is displayed. Step 15. On the taskbar, click the SQL Server Profiler icon. Notice that the trace is running in SQL Server Profiler window. Scroll down the window until you locate Show Plan XML under the Event Class column. Step 16. Scroll the window horizontally from the left to right to view the other columns such as CPU, reads, writes, and duration for Showplan XML event. Notice the values in each column. Step 17. To stop the trace process, click the File menu and click Stop Trace. Stop trace. Step 18. Minimize all windows. To open the saved trace file on the desktop, double-click Capture Plan. Step 19. The capture plan TRC file opens in the SQL Server Profiler windows. Under the event class column, click Show Plan XML. The actual execution plan from the trace is captured and displays. Close SQL Server Profiler windows. Next, exercise 2, working with query store. SQL Server Query Store features help in diagnosing and troubleshooting query performance related issues. Query Store can hold multiple execution plans for a single query. You can use the Query Store feature to perform the following tasks: audit the query history, analyze the usage of resources such as memory, CPU, and input or output for the database, determine the usage of memory and CPU time by the Transact SQL queries, and monitoring the database performance. In this exercise, you will enable the Query Store feature and learn about the different types of Query Store views. Task 1. Enable Query Store. There are four types of Query Store views, such as regress queries, top resource consuming queries, track queries, and overall resource consumption. Each type of view is used in specific scenarios. In this task, you will enable the Query Store feature in AdventureWorks DW 2016 CTP3 database and work with the different types of Query Store views. Step 1. On the taskbar, click Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio icon to create a new query. From the query ribbon, click New Query. Type the following query in the new query pane. This query enables the Query Store features in the selected database. Step 2. To execute the query, click Execute or press F5. The query runs successfully and the result is displayed. Close the query window without saving the query. Step 3. In the Object Explorer, right-click AdventureWorks DW 2016 CTPT and click Properties from the context menu. Step 4. Database Properties AdventureWorks DW 2016 CTP3 window opens. In the left pane under Select a Page, click Query Store. Read and review the information given in the right pane. Click OK to close the window. Step 5. To refresh the database in the Object Explorer, click Refresh icon. Under Adventure Works DW 2016 City Perry Query Store is displayed. Step 6. Click to expand the query store. Right-click Regress Queries. A context menu appears. From the context menu, click View Regress Queries. Step 7. The right pane displays the top 25 regress queries during the last hour for the selected database. Click the metric drop-down list. From the list, click Duration MS. Step 8. Click the Statistic drop-down list. From the list, click Total. Step 9. Click the Query ID drop-down list. Step 10. At the top right corner of the Regress Queries pane, click the Portrait View drop-down list. Wait. Query ID. At the top right corner of the Regress Query, click the Portrait View drop-down list. Portrait. Configure regress queries. Nasa man? Configure. Sangga itu. Ai, gente, assim. Configure. To create a new query from the query ribbon, click New Query. Type the following query in the New Query pane. The, to execute the query, click Execute or press F1. The query runs successfully and the result set is displayed. Close the SQL query in the Regress Queries window. Step 15. To determine the specific nature of the database workload in the Object Explorer under Query Store, right-click Top Resource Consuming Queries. From the context menu, click View Top Resource Consuming Queries. Step 16. The right pane shows the top 25 resource consumers during the last hour of the selected database. The plan summary for that query is displayed. Step 17. To analyze the overall resource consumption of the database under Query Store, right-click Overall Resource Consumption. A context menu appears. From the menu, click View Overall Resource Consumption. Step 18. The right pane shows the overall resources consumption. During the last month for the selected database, click Standard Grid. Standard Grid. To view the query performance related details. Step 19. Scroll the overall resource consumption pane horizontally from left to right to view more details. Close the overall resource consumption pane. Close all active panes. Next. Exercise 3, working with extended events. Extended events help to understand the innermost operation of the database engine. It is a monitoring system that helps to analyze, create, modify, and view session data. In this exercise, you will learn to work with extended events in SQL Server Management Studio. Task 1. Capture the actual execution plan using extended events. In this task, you will first start the SQL Server agent service on PLAB SQL Server 1. You will create a new event session under Extended Events. You will capture the events from the event library. You will then configure the events to collect additional fields and specify the filters. You will watch the live data and view the query execution plan from the extended event. Step 1, in the Object Explorer window, right-click SQL Server Agent. SQL Server Agent. From the context menu, click Start. To confirm the start of SQL Server Agent service on PLAB SQL 01, click Yes in Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio message box. Step 3, please wait till the SQL Server Agent service is started. In the Object Explorer, click to expand management. Click Extended Events. Step 4, to create a new query. From the Query ribbon, click New Query. Type the following query in the New Query pane. This query creates a new event session plan named Capture Execution Plan. Step 5, to execute the query, click Execute or press F5. The query runs successfully and the result is displayed. Step 6, the Object Explorer. In the Object Explorer, click Refresh icon to refresh the extended events. Click to expand extended events session. Right-click Capture Execution Plan. From the context menu, click Start Session. Step 7. The captured execution plan is started. Right-click the Capture Execution Plan and from the context menu, click Properties. Step 8. Please wait till the database loads the extended events information. The Session Properties dialog box appears. In the left pane under Select a Page, click Events. Step 9. To search for events in the right pane, in the Event Library box, type Show. These required events are listed. Step 10. To select the events that need to be captured from the event library, click Query-Post-Compilation-Show Plan. Right-click the arrow button to move the event to the list of selected events. Click the right arrow button. The moved event appears in the selected box. To configure the events to collect additional fields and specify filters, click Configure. Where is the configure? Step 11. Under Selected Events, click to place a tick mark against query post compilation show plan. Step 12. Under Selected Events, click to place a tick mark against query post execution show plan and click OK. Step 13. In the Object Explorer, click AdventureWorks DW 2016 CTP3. To create a new query from the Query ribbon, click New Query. Type the following query in the New Query pane. This query creates an inner join on dim employee table. To run the query, click Execute or press F5. The query runs successfully and the result set is displayed. Step 14. In the Object Explorer, right-click Capture Execution Plan. From the context menu, click Watch Live Data. In the Live Data pane, click Query pre execution show plan. Step 16. Click the Query Plan tab. It shows the query execution plan from the extended event. Step 17. To view more details in Query Plans tab, scroll the pane horizontally from the left to right. Close all active windows. Summary: you covered the following activities in this module: working with SQL Server Profiler, working with Query Store, and working with extended events.